Hi YouTube, I'm Joe Lee. Welcome to the Life of Joe. Today we have this 2022 Jeep Wrangler 392 and my friend Joe Park, who is the owner of this vehicle. Joe also owns the Ford Raptor that's next to this vehicle, which we'll cover in another video. So Joe, how long have you had this 392?
I've had it for about 6-7 months now, Joe.
And why did you choose this trim?
The 392 is a specialty vehicle in terms of that it comes with a V8 from the factory, so it's tough to pass up on a V8.
Yeah, indeed. So this V8 is a 6.4 liter with 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. So this is indeed a healthy engine. So Joe, what are your three favorite aspects of this vehicle?
Real simple, Joe, like you said, 470 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. A Jeep Wrangler going 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. Has no business, but I love every second of it. You know, it's definitely high on that list. Number two, it's a Jeep Wrangler. It's a Rubicon edition. You can go off-road, you can take it out in the trails, you can go over some rocks. You know, you kind of get that apocalypse feeling, do whatever you want. And last but not least, again, it's a Jeep. The doors come off, the roofs come off in the summertime. You know, you get a fully convertible four-door vehicle, take the family out, take the kids out, go to the beach, just have an experience like none other.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what are the three aspects of this vehicle that you like the least?
Three things that I can't always enjoy definitely is the fuel economy, right? You got a lot of money going into gas. It's quite expensive these days. Number two, it's a live axle Jeep. Again, it's kind of a Jeep thing, right? It's not IFS. It bounces on the highway, it bounces on the roads. It takes some getting used to, so it's not always the most comfortable. And last but not least, number three, I'm a big guy, and inside it's a little tight for me sometimes. As big as it looks, you know, the seats are a bit narrow, the body's a bit narrow, and looks can be a little deceiving.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we'll take a closer look at the inside in a bit. And as far as gas mileage goes, this is rated to get 13 miles per gallon city, 17 on the highway, and combined of 14. I think that's more than what you're seeing.
It's definitely more than what I'm seeing. I probably averaging about 12 miles a gallon combined these days. Not too many miles, about 1,100 miles on it, so still kind of breaking it in, but hopefully it should get a little better as we go.
Yeah, well, you don't buy this for gas mileage, but it's just probably good for people to know before they buy. That should be, you know, maybe something they would consider. All right, with that, let's talk about the outside of the vehicle. Let's highlight some features of the exterior of this vehicle. So Joe, tell me about these wheels and tires.
So this is the 392 with the XR package. This is their suspension package that lifts the Jeep, I believe, an inch, and also comes with 35-inch tires and beadlock capable wheels. Those are black beauty rings on there, so not actual bead locks, but you can get the metal ring to put them on there separately if you choose. Other than that, we got some OEM side skirts. Those didn't come with the Jeep. Those are actually side steps, the Mopar ones that come directly from the factory, but I did have to order those separately. And then this is your standard hardtop. With the 392, you don't have a choice. The fenders and hardtop are color matched, so they all have this hydro blue paint instead of the black plastic that you see on a lot of other Jeeps. And I guess the only couple special things to let you know that it's a 392 is you got the badging on the hood, 392, and obviously the gold tow hooks on the front. If you don't know, if you look at Jeeps, usually the tow hooks are a good sign of what kind of Jeep it is. The Rubicons are red, the 4XEs are blue, and the 392s are gold. I believe everyone else is just black if it doesn't fall into those trims.
Good to know. And tell me about these headlights. These look a little bit different than what I typically see.
I think these are the updated headlights for the new JLs. I believe they come on the Rubicons and the higher trims. There are LED headlights. No longer the halogen candles that you had before. And one more thing before I forget, the hood on the 392 is actually the Mojave hood that comes off the JT truck. So it's not your standard Wrangler hood. They did take this one off their Wrangler truck and modify it for the Jeep Wrangler.
Very nice. All right, let's take a look underneath the hood of the 6.4 liter V8. I love that the engine's exposed where you can see the intake manifold and the valve covers.
This whole contraption up here is Jeep's Hydroglide system. It actually says, according to Jeep, it can intake up to so many, I gotta look it up. It takes up so many gallons of water that comes up over the hood and redirects it away from your intake so that you're actually allowed to water ford up to 38 inches, I believe. So this will remove a lot of that water. It'll flush it out this way towards the back of the motor and still leave room for air to hit your motor.
Very cool.
Talk about a cramped engine bay.
And I see this still has a dipstick, which is nice because a lot of vehicles are going away from that, where you have to rely on the car measuring the oil level electronically. Let's take a look at the cargo space in the back. Yeah, we're way back there. And is the subwoofer an optional?
Not on the 392. The 392 comes spec'd in one way. So all the interior options are the same across every 392. The only choices you have are the type of roof you get, whether it be the hardtop or the Sky One Touch. And you get small choices like this trail rail system. It can come with these clips. They basically give you little tie down points. These can come right off and you can actually mount them in the back of your vehicle on the floorboard along various points so that you can tie your gear so it doesn't go flopping around everywhere.
Very functional. I love the color match roll bar.
Yeah, it's pretty nice inside. Again, it's an interesting look for sure. I think most people get a little freaked out by it when they realize they have just a plastic roof and then a roll cage protecting them.
Before we take a look at the inside, let's hear a cold start. Kind of love the sound of a V8. So what do you think of the front seat here? Is it comfortable for you?
The front seat is pretty comfortable. Like I said earlier, it's a little tight for me. I'm kind of on the bigger side, 6'1", 260 pounds-ish. So for me, again, a little tight. I think for most people, this is more than adequate for spacing. The seats are all manual. You get a pull strap for the back, manual hand recline for height, and then you get a little bit of lumbar support for our twist knob. Other than that, you got grab handles to get in and out. It's also good for when you're off-roading. Your standard door, I don't know how much you can see that from over there. The thing about Jeeps is, as you can see, there are no window controls on the door. They are over here in the center of the Jeep, along with a bunch of extra aux options that we can discuss a little later.
All right. So the climate control looks like it's all adjusted from the center here, which is nice. It looks very intuitive. How's the audio system in this car?
The audio system is pretty fair. I wouldn't say it's anything to write home about. It is an Alpine system. It's a little loud because, again, it's a Jeep, so your roof isn't always completely solidly attached, you know, so you got some road noise to fight over, but it does a pretty good job on keeping it down.
And does this car have Apple CarPlay?
Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is not wireless. You do still have to plug in on the aux jacks. Obviously, you got your USB ports up here, a USB Type-C and Type-A connector, along with the standard 3.5 millimeter jack for connecting up to.
All right, and where do you keep your cell phone in this car?
So there's not really a good place to keep your cell phone. There is a little tray up here. Most modern phones are too big to fit in this tray. So what I actually ended up doing is picking up a little $15 tray from Amazon, and it slides right in. Probably couldn't even tell that wasn't OEM.
Smart, yeah, it's very well integrated. All right, and cup holders. See, there's 2 cup holders here. Looks like it's in a good spot and not in the way, like on some other cars. And for interior storage, got a standard glove box and a door net for other things like water bottles and gloves.
Glove compartment isn't too big. It's kind of small, but it'll hold some lug nuts and maybe some air pressure gauges for you.
Let's take a look at the back seat. All right, with Joe's seating position and for the front seat, there's still quite a bit of room back there.
Again, I'm 6'1", 260 pounds. This is my driving position. Probably got about 2.5 to 3 inches of leg room, and push my feet up a little further, and got a fist's worth of clearance above my head.
Nice. And this car does baby duty.
That's what I also hate, getting in and out of the back seats.
Yeah, this opening here, it does look pretty tight. It looks narrow at the bottom, so I can see this being a little difficult to ingress and egress. So something to consider if you will have passengers in the back frequently. All right, let's get some quick driving impressions. All right, we are now inside the 392. Start it up. Very nice. Gotta love that V8 sound. This car has an active exhaust. Turn it off. Significant difference. So good if you need to start the car up late at night, early in the morning. Otherwise, just leave the exhaust in loud mode. It's a proper Jeep. Definitely a little more play than what I'm used to in my Model S Plaid. And the tires and the steering. But this has great feel. The turning radius of this Jeep is surprising in terms of its ability to maneuver in tight spaces, just because of what Jeeps do or are used for in off-roading. So though the vehicle's big, it handles well and can maneuver. Acceleration is strong. Ride quality is surprisingly good. I was expecting it to be harsher. I know the tires do provide quite a bit of cushion. Yeah, I think this vehicle can certainly be used for daily duty. Before we wrap up this video, let's take a look at the inside, the instrument cluster. Everything's very clearly laid out. I want to thank my friend Joe Park for showing us this 392 and for letting me drive it. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and like this video. I really appreciate the support. Thank you for watching The Life of Joe.